Good to see you again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Manda and I've been a therapist for 25 years, helping people with their anxiety, panic, depression, low self-esteem. But this video is for people who struggle with anxiety, shortness of breath. I've had a lot of people ask me, what can I do to solve this or help with this? And I've also had people asking me to do a video which is featuring a bit more information about physical symptoms. So I thought, actually, kill two birds with one stone. Let's look at the shortness of breath that can accompany anxiety and see what you need to know about it, what you can do about it. First thing to know, it's really common. It's a massively common symptom of anxiety. So it's nothing to be concerned about, which of course is part of the battle, not feeling concerned. Feeling the shortness of breath is horrible. It feels, especially in these times, people start to ask themselves, could this be something more serious? Well, let's assume that you've discussed this with a doctor. Let's assume that it isn't anything more serious. And most people with anxiety will have spoken to their doctor about their anxiety over the years and will know that they are, in fact, very anxious. So let's not be concerned about anything physical that it might be because you've taken doctor's advice. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not qualified to advise you on a medical basis, but I have been a therapist for 25 years. And that's given me an awful lot of data to work with, an awful lot of experience with people who suffer with this problem. So one of the first things that can help you is to purposely regulate your breathing. So if you're feeling a shortness of breath, it's usually because there's been a massive release of adrenaline and there has been a reaction in the body, which is a bit like a bottleneck, a bit like an overload. Everything's happening, everything's happening, everything's happening. And that's to protect you from death because the fight or flight system has been triggered. And when you have fight or flight, you naturally breathe more quickly, your heart beats more quickly, the blood pressure goes up, you become more powerful muscular-wise, and you become quicker, faster, stronger, all those things that you need to survive a threat of death. So when we think about it in that way, getting the shortness of breath is simply the response that happens when that system has been triggered, the sympathetic nervous system. You've got all that potential in the body, that potential to survive, that potential to fight off that wild animal that's threatening you or to run away from it. And that's been triggered. So you are sort of in a stasis because it's been triggered, but you're not using it in that way. And that can lead to the tension and the clamping up that can then feel like that shortness of breath. It can feel like you've overdone it. So what can you do? It might be too difficult to go straight into a down breathing cycle. And when I say a down breathing cycle, I mean a cycle of breathing that helps to bring down the arousal and bring you more into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the system of rest and digest, enjoyment and relaxation. So to switch into a downward breathing pattern from this state of feeling, I can't really catch my breath, is really difficult to do, but you can move there more gradually by first of all trying the balancing breath. So this is really simple. And it goes like this, through the nose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, out, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, out, and 2, and 3, and 4. You do this through the nose, ideally mouth closed. So obviously I'm not quite doing it along with you there, but that's the basic skill there. And that can be a bit of a halfway house between the sympathetic breathing that you are stuck with, that over breathing when you're ready for action, and that parasympathetic breathing that you want to get to. So if you try that for a bit and you find that things are starting to change, you don't feel so constricted, you don't feel like you're so short of breath, perhaps then you can try the more down breathing. And that's simply an adjustment in terms of the exhale. So you breathe in for the 4 through the nose, and then you breathe out for 8. So in, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you might find that you're having to push breath out at that point. Might feel really difficult, might feel really uncomfortable, but just keep going with it, because it's going to help you to redress that balance, to go from the up breathing in the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, ready for action, to the balanced breathing, which will balance your whole body system. So whatever balance is required, that breathing will help to put it in there, into the down breathing, which is a really good breathing, obviously, to use, say, before bed, when you're trying to relax. I've got another video on sleep, which I'll link, but just generally speaking, that can be really helpful, that down breathing. That's 4 in, 8 out. It lowers the blood pressure, it lowers the heart rate. It can also, by switching on your parasympathetic nervous system, just put you in a completely different mind state, but it does take a bit of practice. So fight or flight, you know about that, that's called the sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is the one where you are ready to rest and digest and relax. So just remember that all that's happening when you're in that sympathetic response is that you're very much in fight or flight, ready for action, but no action is needed. That's the beauty of this. It's all about realizing that your brain has become stimulated for whatever reason. Your body has automatically followed suit. It's called the autonomic nervous system because it works by itself. You don't have to put the thought into it, but sometimes it gets a bum steer. Sometimes it gets the wrong information. So it thinks you need a ton of adrenaline or a ton of activity potential when you don't. So that's when you can choose to put that breathing exercise in, which I really hope will help with your shortness of breath. It's not nice having anxiety. It's a massive problem. Please see my other videos, because I've got all sorts of information I'm putting out to help people with these problems. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon.